All right, hi, my name is Harley Norris. This is my photo analysis presentation. For my presentation, I chose to do class out of the three options that we were given. So for my first side, I took a picture of this little flag I had up in my house. For me, it honestly just represented what people would typically think of America and what they really feel like goes on within America. But I feel like our citizens really only can understand like what like different hardships people are facing, and then kind of what like everybody sees on a like daily basis. For this picture, I thought it was important due to the fact that everybody has this typical like vision of the American dream outside of America, but in reality, that is absolutely not the case, as some people are in the lower class living day to day off of a paycheck and are not able to provide their families with basic necessities, and this can cause a lot of problems for those people, leading to them committing crimes. For my second picture, I chose a key. I feel like this key really just keys really hold power in America. And with typically without keys, you don't really got a lot. You don't really own much. So I felt like with this key really shows like how class can play a role in what people do in their everyday lives, as the stats show that typically lower class people are involved in crime a lot more than those that are in the upper or middle to upper classes. Um, a lot of individuals in the lower class can commit crimes, and these crimes could be petty theft, for example. And these crimes can show how their class plays a role in them eventually leading up to committing the crimes themselves. The next picture I chose was this painting of this little farmhouse, it looks like. I feel like this really shows like the harsh living conditions that some people can go through if they are in the lower class. Homelessness obviously is a problem in the United States, and from my home state of California, it is a huge problem as is discussed in the slide. We have a homeless rate of 43.7%, and our homeless population actually makes up about 20% of the homeless population inside of the United States. And I have seen homeless people commit crimes and they do get in trouble, but it's almost as a way out for them, as they are provided with basically a roof over their head. And for them to resort to these means to have a roof over their head is a major problem, as it can contribute to crimes. And eventually, these homeless people can commit violent crimes, as I do know a homeless person that got killed by another homeless person. So that alone in itself is a major problem. For this next picture, I chose a lamp, as this can also represent class, upper, middle, lower, whatever it is. As discussed in the slides, I discussed electricity, as lighting a lamp could be a way of providing light for your house if you can, or if you are not able to um, afford electricity. As well as I discussed in the slides, that people can break into places that are provided with electricity, which would be considered trespassing and breaking and entering, which is a crime. And this alone in itself is also a major deal, as many individuals can resort to whatever means it is that they need to do to have a roof over their head. And while committing these crimes, they are faced with harsh punishments for their crimes, and with that, that can lead to a long life in prison and eventually death. For this picture, I chose a ring of feathers, as I felt it represented our Native American population, who have faced a lot of harsh and unfair treatment compared to those outside of their tribes. Um, I do have a tribe local to me, and thankfully they are more wealthier tribes as they have a huge casino. But as discussed in the slide, many Native American tribes are faced with harsh living conditions and are stuck in the lower class, again, due to the harsh treatment that our US government has given them. Um, as well as discussed in the slides, I noted that Native Americans experience violent crime 2.5 times higher than the national average. And that alone in itself speaks volumes due to the fact that if you're a Native American and you're facing these living conditions and people are doing whatever it takes for them to live, and if that's and if in some cases if that's you're taking a life, then I feel like that is something that needs to be discussed and needs to be vocalized as a major problem within these Native American communities. For this picture, I chose a star. For me, the star kind of just showed like how much of a difference it makes depending on which class your family falls in as you grow up as a child. I mean, you don't really have much control of what your parents do or how they operate or the decisions they've made to get to where they are. And some children are faced with harsh living conditions. Children of the lower class aren't given, aren't or not given, but provided with certain needs to live every day. And this can lead to their parents doing whatever it takes. And in this case, it means crime and seeing your parents commit crime, which means you could typically fall back into line and do what they do as growing up without a parent. That is takes a major toll on a kid and can really toll their view of life and the parenting or the father figure, mother figure, whatever they need in their life as they grow up. For this picture, I chose an eagle as it could, like I discussed in the slide, represents the struggles that the people of the lower class go through. As I've discussed earlier, these people that go through these trials and tribulations, again, it could all fall back to crime. Not typically, but for those in the lower class, and depending on the area you grow up in, many of these people fall back to crime as it is a easy means away as a way of trying to provide for themselves and their families. And I felt the eagle itself is pretty metaphorical as they're hunters and they do whatever they need to do to survive on daily needs. And then for my last slide, I chose this picture of a beach on Hawaii. Um, as a whole, like being able to go on vacations and see different parts of the world, that's really an eye-opening experience. And many individuals of the lower class aren't able to see this as they're stuck in whatever environment they are in. And relating this to crime, seeing being able to see different parts of the world and see how different people operate and how different cultures work, that could really expand your views on things. And for those of the lower class, if you're not able to go and see different parts of the world and see how different people operate, again, you could fall back into line with whatever your community has going on and the different things that they do. And with that, again, you could fall into line and go uh live by like whatever means it is necessary that you need to support you and your family.